again. In this activity, you're going to learn about West Virginia government. Follow along as I read about the three branches of the West Virginia government: the legislative, the executive, and judicial branches. After we learn about these three branches, you will be completing the Name That Branch activity. So let's get started.
The West Virginia state government is comprised of three major branches: the state legislature, the House of Delegates, and the Senate; the executive branch, comprised of the governor and administrative agencies; and the judicial branch, the courts. Those individuals serving within these branches are voted for by the people, demonstrating a representative democracy within the state. Each branch's authority is provided within the West Virginia Constitution. Specifically, Articles 6 through 8 of that Constitution clarify the powers of these positions. Let's look a little closer at each branch. The legislature. The legislature passes the laws we live under. The West Virginia state legislature is defined by its two chambers, the Senate and the House of Delegates. The Senate membership is made up of 34 members elected by district to represent the people within. Senators are elected to a 6-year term. These elections occur on a rotating cycle, with a certain number of positions being voted on in any given election. The Senate's presiding leader is the President of the Senate. This leader is chosen by the majority of the party within the Senate. The House of Delegates has 100 members elected by smaller districts, based on population, to serve the people. Delegates are elected for a term of only 2 years. This means all 100 seats in the House are voted on every 2 years. The Speaker of the House serves as the leader within the House of Delegates. This officer is elected by the majority of the party within the House. Each year, the Senate and House meet for their legislative session. For 60 consecutive days, the senators and delegates meet in the state capitol to discuss the state of West Virginia with a special focus on the economy, policy, and law. It is during this session that bills are introduced and may become law. However, before a bill may become a law, it must be approved through a majority vote in both houses and signed by the governor. While this session normally begins on the second Wednesday in January, during years in which a new governor is inaugurated, the legislative session is delayed, beginning on the second Wednesday in February. The executive branch. The executive branch administers, that is, carries out the laws. The executive branch serves as the state's daily administration. Their primary responsibility is to carry out and enforce the laws, both within the West Virginia Constitution and passed by the legislature. The voters elect 6 positions within this branch. The governor is the state's primary executive position. The governor is granted some major powers, such as the ability to address the legislature with the start of each new session, to share state priorities, and convening special legislative sessions as deemed necessary. Some other powers include drafting a proposed budget for the state, filling vacancies within other branches, and offices through appointment and the power of veto. Veto is the ability to reject legislation that does not align with the administration's philosophy. However, the legislative branch can override the governor's veto with the appropriate votes. Other key representative positions within the executive branch include Secretary of State, the State Auditor, Treasurer, Commissioner of Agriculture, and Attorney General. Again, these positions are elected by the people. As previously stated, the executive branch serves as administration over all state programs. That means it also oversees state agencies such as the Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Transportation, Department of Motor Vehicles, Tax and Revenue Department, and the Department of Education. This includes all divisions that fall within or under these departments. The judicial branch. The judicial branch through the courts applies the laws to people accused of violating laws or to people who have a complaint against someone else or a business. The judicial branch is tasked with understanding and applying the laws set in place by the legislature. This legal arm of the government interprets the meaning of the laws, settles legal disagreements, and protects the constitutional and legal rights of West Virginia citizens. These are all done within limits set by the Constitution. Various courts provide service to the judicial branch at each level. While circuit courts, the magistrate, and the municipal courts are present on regional, county, and city levels, respectively, the Supreme Court of Appeals serves as the state's highest court. As such, they supervise the activities of lower courts. The West Virginia Supreme Court is made up of 5 justices elected by the people to serve a 12-year term. Elections are nonpartisan, meaning political party is not listed on the ballot. The court is constitutionally required to meet twice a year with sessions in January and September. However, they may elect to hold special meetings as necessary. While each branch of the government operates independently, the Constitution assures balance amongst the 3 units through a series of checks and balances. These provide each branch certain powers that limit the strength of the other branches. For instance, the legislature may pass a bill, but it is not a law until the governor signs that bill. Remember, he can also veto that bill if he feels it is appropriate. Even if a bill is passed, the courts are responsible for interpreting the bill, and they could determine it unconstitutional. This is just one example of the checks and balances within the West Virginia state government. Name that branch. Now that you know a bit more about each branch of the West Virginia state legislature, let's test your knowledge. Listed below are a series of statements. Please answer each question by determining whether that statement is about the legislative, executive, or judicial branch. Let's do the first one together. The first question. This government branch provides daily administrative support or guidance to the state of West Virginia. If you are not sure of the answer, then reference back to what we just read. The correct answer is executive. Write executive on the line provided. Now it is up to you to complete this page. Once you have completed this activity, please turn to the page to Section 3, Government, who represents you. We want you to take time to research the correct answers for this worksheet. You will need to write the correct name and a fun fact about each one of these elected officials.